Now, good news for Kamala Harris. She has an advisor in this debate, and it's Hillary Clinton. Yes, if ever you wondered about advice from a person who lost a national election to Donald Trump, now you have it. According to Reed Epstein, reporting for the New York Times, Hillary Clinton has as much experience as any Democrat debating Donald J. Trump, which is like saying that the Washington Generals have more experience playing the Harlem Globetrotters than any team on the earth. That's true, but I'm not sure it's saying what you think it's saying. Ms. Clinton called to discuss her old debate coach, Karen Dunn, who is helping out Vice President Kamala Harris this time around. She says the consensus was I won all 3 debates and I was well prepared. Was that the consensus, though? Was it? She says, it was the first debate when Trump literally ridiculed me for preparing. This was not something we had thought about beforehand because who thought we could be ridiculed for preparing for a presidential debate in front of 85 or 90 million people? So basically I said, yeah, I did prepare. And, I'll tell you something else I prepared for. I prepared to be president because I had the confidence. I knew the material. I felt comfortable. I also knew I had to brush Trump back and not let him be the center of attention all the time. And then Hillary says, Kamala has proved to be a good debater, both in her races in California and in her debate with Mike Pence. So I think she needs to be prepared enough. She feels really comfortable going on both offense and defense against Trump because there's a lot to cover with him. Have you talked with Harris about the debate? She's asked. Quote, he doesn't answer the questions. He doesn't come with any specifics. It appears from the reporting he's going to go with a scorched earth approach and will just try to tear her down, which is his usual go-to strategy. You have to go back at him about his really terrible record as president, the kinds of things he had said he wants to do next this time around, his association with Project 2025. Good luck with all that. Seriously, good luck. Because it turns out more people liked his presidency than like her vice presidency. That is not going to work. If she starts ripping on his record as president, and she's like, yeah, you lost so many jobs when you're a president, you can say, well, that was COVID. And I noticed that you have the worst economic recovery in modern history, given your 40-year highs in inflation and the fact that a vast majority of the American people believe your economy is poor. More Americans trust me on the economy by every available poll, and there's a reason for that. This is a buzzsaw. The buzzsaw is her record. It's not even him. It's her record. If he can hold her accountable to her record, it's a major, major problem. Hillary says, I talked with Kamala about a number of things. She should just not be baited. She should bait him. He can be rattled. He doesn't know how to respond to substantive, direct attacks. I think that from her prosecutorial background, I think that's what she will be equipped to do. I mean, when I said on stage he was a Russian puppet and he just sputtered on stage, I think that's an example of how you get out a fact about him that really unnerves him. That wasn't even a fact. It wasn't even a fact. She's now saying you should just lie about him, which is typical Hillary Clinton. You know, it was a great moment for Hillary Clinton when she lied and said that he was Vladimir Putin's puppet. Weird, because he wasn't. But she thinks that was a big triumph for her. And the fact that Democrats have to go to the well by trying to treat Hillary Clinton as some sort of great voice on all of this is truly insane. I'll tell you what Trump should smack Kamala Harris over. He should smack Kamala Harris over the Afghanistan withdrawal, given the fact that this week marks pretty much the end of the Afghan withdrawal. And she was the last person in the room. She was the last person in the room. And if she tries to come back at him with, well, you broke the rules at Arlington National Cemetery, he should say, I was invited there by the families. You didn't show up. Those troops are dead because of you. It'll be a disaster in the waiting for her. The fact is, you need to save money, which is why you should cut your cell phone bill in half every single month. How do you do that? Well, you switch on over to Pure Talk. Most big cell phone providers want you to believe you need unlimited data so they can overcharge you. But here's the fact. Most of you are buying way more data than you will ever need. With Pure Talk, my cell phone company, you can choose how much data you actually want and you can save. Listen to this. For just $35 a month, you can get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data, plus mobile hotspot on America's most dependable 5G network. Do you know what you can do with that much data? You can browse the internet for 500 hours. You can stream 3,000 songs. You can watch 30 hours of video. That's all if you're not on Wi-Fi. Here's the best part. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk on a qualifying plan, you'll get 1 year free of Daily Wire Plus Insider. That's access to the full library of DW Plus movies, series, and documentaries, including Lady Ballers, What is a Woman, Mr. Bertram, and Run, Hide, Fight. Plus, uncensored, ad-free daily shows. 1 year free of our kids platform, Bentkey, and your very own free Leftist Tears Tumblr. It's a great deal. The only way you can do all of that, head on over to puretalk.com/Shapiro or call and mention my name. Stop overpaying for your cell phone plan. Go to puretalk.com/Shapiro today. Switch to a qualifying plan. Get 1 year free of Daily Wire Plus Insider. According to Politico, the House Foreign Affairs Committee's Republican chair has now issued a scathing new report outlining what he views as the Biden administration's failures on Afghanistan and playing up VP Kamala Harris's role in the chaotic 2021 U.S. withdrawal from the country. Now, once again, this is a Republican pounce story. Right? She says that she was the last person in the room. She was integrally involved in the Afghanistan pullout. If you mention it, it's you pouncing. That's how this stupidity works. The report stresses the Biden-Harris administration prioritized the optics of the withdrawal over the security of U.S. personnel on the ground, and that it misled and in some instances directly lied to the American people at every stage of the withdrawal. That, of course, is 100% true. That is absolutely true. According to the report, Vice President Kamala Harris was the last person in the room when President Biden made the decision to withdraw all U.S. forces from Afghanistan, a fact she boasted about shortly after Biden issued his go-to-zero order. Despite warnings against withdrawing by senior leaders, Vice President Harris's aide disclosed the VP strongly supported President Biden's decision. President Biden's former chief of staff, Ron Klain, affirmed Vice President Harris was entrenched in the president's Afghanistan policy. The report notes, when the evacuation took place in August 2021, Harris was on a trip to Singapore and Vietnam, where she pledged the administration would continue to protect Afghan women and children. Her promise has clearly not been fulfilled. In fact, it is now illegal for Afghan girls to go to school beyond very, very young ages now. And they're all being stuffed into black bags in basements, basically. So yes, Donald Trump should hold her accountable on all of that. I would imagine that he would. Meanwhile, President Trump was out on the campaign trail, and he says, she has been lying for years about the mental acuity of the President of the United States. She should have used the 25th Amendment on him long ago, considering he's no longer capable of serving in his office. So if she won't use the 25th Amendment, perhaps we should amend the 25th Amendment to allow for the impeachment of the vice president who allows for an incompetent president to continue on in his job. Here was Trump over the weekend.
Finally, I will support modifying the 25th Amendment to make clear that if a vice president lies or engages in a conspiracy to cover up the incapacity of the president of the United States, if you do that with a cover-up of the President of the United States, it's grounds for impeachment immediately and removal from office, because that's what they did.
Now, President Trump did get an excellent bit of news at the very end of last week. It happened on Friday afternoon. The judge in the New York hush money case, Judge Merchan, he delayed the sentencing until after the election. It's now happening late November, which means it could be completely obviated if Trump wins the election. If Trump wins the election, then presumably it would be a complete inability to fulfill his presidential duties if he were in Sing Sing. It would mean they basically could not sentence him to anything remotely like jail time. So that is a big win for Trump, because as much as people on the right think that Trump being sentenced in the middle of the election cycle would redound to his benefit, it actually wouldn't. If you were sentenced to jail time in the middle of the election cycle, a lot of people would refocus in on Trump's supposed criminality. And already the Republican willingness to go out and vote for Trump is really, really high. It's not getting any higher from here. So that is a very good piece of news for President Trump. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.